is Sherilyn Dorsey, and I am creator and founder of You're More Than Their Mother, and I teach moms and women to reclaim, realign, and rebalance their lives and to go after their dreams. So today I'm talking about checking yourself. Now that is really a slang term. When I say check yourself, that means to get yourself together. Get yourself together. And really the extended version of this title should really be, don't check anybody else, check yourself. Because you all, the reality is, and I'm going to drill this as much as I can for as long as I can until everybody understands it, everything really boils down and comes back to you. I don't care what experience it is that you are having. Really, the value in everything is about what lesson it is that you are getting and what experiences it is that you will create going forward based upon the experience that you had in the past. So while something may not feel the best going through or may not be the most positive thing for you in the moment, why do I always have a delinquent curl? I swear, always. It may not be the most positive thing for you in the moment. As you get through that, as you are, managing your way through that, then I would strongly suggest to you that you ask yourself the question, what am I here to learn? What am I here to learn? Because wallowing in that self-pity, that negativity, that feeling that just doesn't feel good, it is of no benefit to you to stay there. It is good that you feel what you're feeling, because when you allow your feelings, you are able to get a gauge on what it is that you need to do next, right? So when you don't feel good, that gives you a gauge to say, hey, you may not want to duplicate that experience, so you want to make a new decision because I don't like that, right? I don't like that for whatever reasons. So when you do that, I said all of that so that you can understand this buildup or where it is that I'm going with checking yourself. So often we are able to look at other people and we are able to easily see their situations and how they need to correct themselves. So very often it's tempting to be able to just reach in and say, hold up, why don't you try? Or hold up, you need to, whatever that may look like, right? And or check them. And when I say check them, please understand there's no negative connotation around that. There could be, right? Because you could take it and do it to a fault. But and we can talk about it on the full spectrum of it. But what I want you to pay close attention to is it doesn't matter what it is that you think you know better than, or you think you know that people should do instead of. It is not up to you to get anybody else together. It's up to you to figure out how you want to engage with them, to check yourself on how it is that you are allowing yourself to be treated or allowing yourself to remain in a situation that is not so healthy for you, right? Of course, I'm driving here and there's puddles of water, so I want to be most careful. But that's up to you, and you need to check yourself on that, right? You need to check yourself and say, hold up, what am I still doing talking to this person? Or what am I still doing in the same space as this person, right? Or what am I doing still allowing this person access to me or my loved ones? Whatever it is that looks like for you, you need to check yourself, right? It's not so much that they need to go somewhere, they need to shut up, or they need to, perhaps they do. And that's another talk for another day. I'm talking about the component of you in this whole thing. You need to ask yourself, why did you put yourself back in a space where this person would have this type of access to you? Why would you put yourself back in a space where you would be in exchange with this person again, right? And not to beat yourself up about it, because that's not what this thing is about. This thing is about really illuminating things it is that we need to be doing differently and using our own internal gauge, which are feelings, on helping us to decide if we are taking right action. Does that make sense? Okay, Kelly, I see you. You get it. You're getting it. We need to do that more. We cannot be so interested in getting the world together and telling everybody else what to do. We need to get ourselves together. We need to understand and call ourselves out when we have not been courageous. Meaning we haven't been courageous enough to disassociate ourselves from someone. Or we haven't been courageous enough to attach ourselves to someone. When we haven't been courageous enough to speak up for ourselves, to say, I don't like doing this and I don't want to be here anymore. We need to call that thing out and not blame or misguide our energy, right, or our discontent, and then go off checking other people, telling people what they need to do and how they need to get their lives together. In essence, you are asking people to do something that you're not even willing to do, right? You are asking people, when you call yourself checking somebody else and you haven't checked yourself, you are in essence asking them or trying to tell them to do something that you haven't even done for yourself. And that's illogical. And it's time that we do better. It's time that we do better. We know better. So we have to have the courage to do better, whatever that looks like. And that doesn't mean going off on yourself or holding yourself hostage to these feelings or this way of being that doesn't serve you. All of these things it is that you're doing is going to end up serving your highest good. And guess what? I got a bonus to this. It's actually going to end up serving other people's highest good as well. Because you serve people best when you are your authentic self. Because then they know how to deal with you properly. Right? They know how to deal with you properly. So I want to encourage you to make this a year of self-audit. And if you've been following me for a while, then you know what I'm talking about. And certainly if you have my book, which I hope you do. But if you have my book, then you know what I'm talking about when I say self-audit. This is when you are literally checking yourself. You're doing check-ins with yourself to see if this feels right to you, if it looks right to you, if you're with the right person, if you're making the right decisions, right? If you are allowing or disallowing the right things. All of those things matter and require a daily check-in with yourself, a multiple time a day check-in. Because we are human beings and we are the one variable that changes constantly. And we have to give ourselves a space and to do that in. And as we give ourselves a space to do that in, we give other people a space to do that in. So we have more compassion. We have more understanding. We are more amenable. We are more willing to work with people, right? And we are able to identify more quickly the things it is we like and don't like and adjust ourselves accordingly. So I'm telling you, there's so much value in checking yourself. Now let me wrap this up and how this will benefit you with your children, the big or small. Your children, of course you are the authority figure over your children, right? That should go without saying, as I said it. But one thing that happens, you should know about your children, really as with all people, but with your children, in this specific example is the behavior it is that they are displaying and the words it is that they are speaking gives you a peek into how it is that you are treating them or what it is that they think about your treatment of them. If your children, and I'll use myself for example, if your children are lying a lot, right, then you need to check yourself. Why, you may ask? Why, Sherilyn? Let me tell you why you need to check yourself. Because if your children are lying to you, a lot in particular, then it is absolutely possible that they may not feel like their truth has a safe space with you. Meaning they feel like you overreact. Physically or verbally, right? They feel like it's something that they are shamed for, right? Whatever their truth is. And they felt like lying was the safest thing to do. Am I saying that is right? I'm not saying that is right. I'm saying perhaps that has something to do with it. And if it is a possibility, then you owe it to yourself and to your children to look into it further. To figure out if this is the thing that is going on with them in order to support them in telling the truth. Not to stop lying. That's a whole different energy. But you want to support them in speaking the truth all the time. All the time. That's the goal. Now, whether or not they meet that goal, that's something else, right? But that doesn't change your goal. Right? So, take that example for what it is. And use that, and let me know your thoughts with that. Let me know your thoughts behind checking yourself. And what I want you to do is really two things. One, I want you to invite a friend. I'd like for us to grow this year and to get some more valued participants who are looking to engage, to some more moms who are looking to engage with other moms, and through these videos and talks and things it is that we're having. I want to hear from you all what it is that you want to hear. And then the other thing is, I want you to tell me about an experience you had when you needed to check yourself. Let me see here, Kelly, what you're saying. You said, this is on time. I have to check myself daily. I expect things of people or situation and it doesn't go the way I expected. I have to get myself in order and react accordingly. Absolutely. 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 I mean, you hit it right on the head, Kelly. And I think we all have to do that. And I always like to be clear. And really, one of the reasons I like to use my own examples are, one, confidentiality. You know, any of my mentees or people it is that I'm working with, the idea is not to expose or shame anyone. Now, I definitely can have a experience with people and it may inspire a talk it is that I have, but it really is I only share so that, because number one, I know other people are going through it. We are not in this thing alone. And so often we can feel that way because we isolate ourselves because we feel ashamed. We maybe not even have the means sometimes to go out and get the help it is that we idealistically want. So we just kind of shut down and don't see all of the resources and help it is that we have around us. And then number three, I want you to understand that I go through the same thing. I don't care how much I get on here and talk to you about, give you advice or give you tips or formal training it is that I've received in school or experiential training it is that I've had and life has just taught me, anything like that. Bottom line, I go through the same things and I have to use these tools just as often as you do. And so I want you to understand you're not alone with this thing. So thank you so much for sharing that. It's true. It's true. We just simply need to check ourselves and keep checking yourself, Kelly. I'll encourage you to do that. Keep doing it for yourself because while you're doing it for you and making sure that you're doing the right thing, you're blessing your family. You're blessing your unborn child. You are giving your unborn children a nurturing womb to grow in. And that's important because it matters. It matters. I don't want to go into a whole monologue, but it really matters. You are making yourself and you are blessing your children that are already here. You are blessing your relationship by doing that, be it romantic or social, professional, it doesn't matter. When you do that, the benefits are exponential. So I encourage you to continue to do that. I just love that so much. Good on you, friend. Good on you, my friend. Alrighty. Well, alrighty. I appreciate you being here and taking the time to listen to this live. Thank you, Kelly. And anybody who listened to this replay, I appreciate you. And again, invite a friend over to our page. I'm looking forward to some new faces and some new engaged followers. Alrighty. So I hope you all have had a great new year and all the best for 2019. I will see you all next time. But until we see each other again, remember, it's time to move beyond everyone else's expectations of who you ought to be and become the woman you thought that you could be. Okay. You say, I've learned I can't get through life expecting people to do what I feel is right. Yes, indeed. Ooh, that's one of the keys of life, isn't it, Kelly? It's the truth. And if you do hold on to that type or way of thinking, you will find yourself sorely disappointed, won't you? Walking around thinking you got to check everybody else when the reality is it's you. It's you. Big lesson. So true, my friend. So true. Yep. Well, all righty. I will see you all later. Make sure I'm not missing anything here. Alrighty. Well, thanks so much again, and I will see you all next time. You all have a great rest of your day. Bye.